So earlier this month, this 0.007 penny stock with a $12 million market cap announced it had finally reached a definitive agreement with a significant infrastructure company, which should add up to $60 million in annual revenue. And keep in mind, with a $12 million market cap, that's kind of crazy. And this is their tweet from earlier this morning. They said, "We are excited to share our biggest announcement on delivering outsized shareholder value in our history." Didn't really make sense, but you get what they mean. So they say keep an eye out after the holiday for the next announcement in this series that we expect will surprise their loyal shareholders. So, this stock is already up around 15% today, has been in an uptrend lately, and now, they're pretty much saying that there should be some very big news coming probably next week, sometime next week. Your cavr trading at 0.00825. Actually, this one has went up a lot since I started this video and started covering it. It's up 14, just under 15% for the day, sitting at a $12.3 million market cap. They just signed a definitive agreement, to add around $60 million in yearly revenue. So this one is looking pretty good, and they have a lot of future catalysts. One that should be coming mid to late next week. And if it is some very good news, obviously this one could bounce to 1 cent plus very easily. And they have a lot, the share structure isn't looking that good, with 2.3 billion, over 2.3 billion authorized shares and 1.7 billion outstanding shares, but 931 million of those are currently locked up by insiders, and there are only 778 million open to the public market, with being unrestricted shares. Looks like the float is around 700 million as of right now. So back on June 9th, about 20 days ago, Paragon X Holdings reaches major agreement on an acquisition that will add up to $60 million in new annual revenue, which is a very big deal. So the company announced it had finally reached a definitive agreement with a significant infrastructure company to add $60 million in annual revenue. The first phase of a multi-phase series of transactions. We started this process when Russ and Bob brought me in as a CEO over 2 years ago. I made an announcement of our intention to become a significant infrastructure company through major acquisitions, fought through delays and difficult capital interest rate environments, but never gave up on the long-term strategy to deliver as promised to our loyal shareholders. And one actually just broke out, just had a rounded bottom, had some support down here at 0.003 a while back, and just exploded as volume started coming in. I believe this is whenever they started announcing the $60 million merger or acquisition, and now we have support around 0.007. So what I'm thinking here is, obviously with these penny stocks, they are purely, most of them, almost all of them, are honestly just pump and dump plays. So this one has been an uptrend, so it could bounce back down, but considering there's a big catalyst, and that one follows through, this one can easily break 0.1, and we can see a run here. Even though it's been in an uptrend, I think we can continue this. It really just depends on the catalyst coming late to mid next week. But this one, if it breaks 0.01, I think it can continue to go up. We could still see some momentum going into next week. Looking at the dilution for this company, not too many toxic notes actually. They do have some debt. And looking at their outstanding shares, it's at 1.7 billion. So the share structure is not looking that good, but this one has a very big catalyst, multiple catalysts coming up. Definitely could go up further next week. Definitely has potential to. So back in 2022 of March, the outstanding share count was 1,451,000,000. Looking at the dilution since March 21st, 2022, which is over a year ago, 1 year ago, and a few months, the outstanding share count was 1,451,000,000 shares. So in a little over a year, the outstanding share count has went up around 250 million shares. But definitely keep an eye on dilution right here, especially because they might need more funding. But definitely one that has a lot of catalysts that we have to watch. Have been growing year over year. In 2022, 1.3 million in revenue, with very little gross profit. You can see the gross profit margins still aren't that good for the first quarter of 2023, but they did 5.1 million in revenue, and they only lost 283,000. So they have this big $60 million yearly revenue acquisition that looks like it has some potential and a lot of catalysts. This is definitely one we have to watch, especially probably one of the hottest penny stocks that's trading this low, sub penny. that has big catalysts coming up literally next week after the holiday. So this is why I'm making the video. Definitely have to watch this one. So this acquisition should give them revenue of over 60 million a year and a laser focus on further growth in the infrastructure space. The company will divest non-infrastructure related assets and reorganize the leadership team. So it looks like a big change in direction. Kevin Cox will remain a board member, but will be stepping down as the CEO. Kevin accepted the role of Chief Executive Officer for SOAAK Technologies, which recently acquired the company's health tech subsidiary. The management team worked on this project diligently. For 2 years, Kevin and I focused on the long-term shareholder value we could bring by closing these significant acquisitions. So, they've been in talks with this and working on this for a long time. So this could be pretty big. Definitely something to watch going into next week. Expect a big announcement. The company reiterated its expectation to close the transaction by the end of June. So, today's the last day of June, but they just tweeted out today, but they said as soon as the holidays end, so I'm expecting mid to the end of the week next week. They're excited to share the biggest announcement, they've pretty much ever had, is what they're saying. They're pumping this one up, so definitely one we have to watch. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. Everything like that definitely has potential, and this is a pretty big deal. So if they can close this one, this will be a huge deal. This one can easily, have a good run. Already has momentum right now. But obviously, if they don't follow through with this announcement, if there's any delays, this one could see a drop in the price. It's actually up 26% today. Didn't realize that because I took a break and came back to my computer. But guys, let me know what stocks you're watching. Going to be a long weekend for the investors. No trading for a while, so it's going to be pretty boring. But I will see you on the next video.